Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Willie, and if this is your first time, remember to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up so we could reach a wide number of persons as possible. And also please click on your notification bar so anytime I upload a video you'll be notified and you won't miss out on any of my updates. Thank you. So in today's video I'll be sharing everything about my coming to France, like the steps I took, what helped me and everything. I hope you are going to get a lot of useful information from this video. During that period I normally applied to a lot of scholarships. So what were the platforms that helped me? I was always on Twitter, I was always on LinkedIn. I subscribed to some newsletters like from my school to be receiving updates on any scholarship that is available. So if I should find one scholarship, it will lead me to as many others as possible. So I feel dedicating time to these kind of things will help you have access to scholarship information, especially on LinkedIn, because for this scholarship I'm benefiting from Total Energies. I actually saw it on LinkedIn. So try to dedicate your time to be going on these platforms, following persons that share information on academia. You'll be able to get updates on when these scholarships are available, when there is an opening. And even when you view scholarships that are not available now, you could always jot them down and note when they are open so that the next time it's available you will on your own know the time frame and view it. For Total Energy scholarship, I first saw it on LinkedIn. Although I felt I did not really meet all the qualifications, physical sciences could apply for it, but I felt it was mostly for like engineering and for people in the social sciences in business schools that want to apply to business schools. But I still went ahead to apply for it and just keep my fingers crossed. And then the requirements weren't as much as the other ones I had earlier applied, like for Commonwealth you need to write like a lot of essays, but for Total Energies you don't need to write a lot of essays. In fact, you don't need to write any essays when you apply. The application for Total Scholarship was very straightforward, so it was very easy to apply at just a go. The things I was asked during the application was just the school I attended, the course I studied, when I graduated, my CGPA, and if I had passed out of the mandatory service in Nigeria. That's they asked for my discharge certificates, and they also asked for my WAEC, if I had done WAEC and the courses I did in my WAEC, I think, and the grades. But it was very straightforward. You also be asked the school that you intend to study here in France, the course you intend to study here in France. I think this were just the things that we were asked. I had totally forgotten about the application after that, maybe because it wasn't stressful when I applied for it, so I had totally forgotten about it. But after like 3 weeks or 2 weeks, I received an email to come for a psychometric assessment. It's called Swift Analysis Test. You can check it out and see what it's all about. It was on Zoom. It takes like 18 minutes. They test you on mathematics, English, I think vocational studies, and just thereabout. There is like a practice for it, so you could always check it and just practice before the test. That was just it for me. After the test, it doesn't take time before you're invited for the interview. It's like a very fast process. I wrote my test on a Wednesday, and on Friday evening I had received an email for my interview. But before the interview they asked me the school I'm applying to and the course of study. And also before the interview I was asked to send a motivational letter for them to look at it before the interview. And so for me, since I knew I was going to change field, I kind of constructed my motivation letter to depict why I want to change to engineering field. So I think you should take all these things into consideration. You should not wait until you are asked like the obvious questions, you know. So I felt this should be an obvious question. So even before I went for the interview, I had included my reasons for changing the field and so on. Before the interview, I reached out to persons that could help me prepare me for the interview, and I think it really helped me. I had like mock interviews, and this really helped me in preparing for my own interview. I received a notification to come for the interview, and I really did not know what to expect. I went online to search for questions on Total Scholarship questions, but I did not really find anything useful. I went on LinkedIn. I connected with persons that have gotten the scholarship before, and they really did help me and prepare me for the scholarship, so thanks to them. For the interview, there were 8 persons on the panel, and each of them they had their own different questions to ask. Of course, it went on very well. The atmosphere was actually really welcoming, and I think maybe because I had prepared a little, I think it helped. So, but the general atmosphere with them was just very comfortable. The first question I was asked was to tell them about myself, and before now, I'd already like practiced what I'm going to say if I'm asked this question. I think it's just for you to give a brief summary about yourself. Highlight on the points you want them to note on, maybe what's driving you to applying for the scholarship and so on, but just be as brief as possible and give a general summary of maybe your voluntary experiences, your work experiences, your academic background, and etc. For me, I told them I want to be an inspiration to young persons around me. So the question that came was, who inspires you? So I told them the people that inspire me, and they asked me why successful persons are inspirations. And I told them it's because they are visible, that's why. So I felt the questions they asked was just as a result of the things I told them. This question I was asked was why I want to study in France, like if I'm not going to miss my loved ones at home and so on. Then I was also asked about the problems that we are facing in Nigeria concerning the area I chose to study. I was asked where I would like to see myself in 5 years. I think that's like a very common question. But anyways, in all these questions I was asked, I tried to like focus it on the area, like the most important subject I was presenting, why I think they should choose me for this scholarship. This is what I'm going to bring to the table and so on. If you're interested in knowing more about the interview questions, please kindly let me know in the comment section. I'm going to compile the list of all the interview questions that we were asked during this process and the answers that we gave, and I hope it helps you. After the interview, we waited for like 4 to 5 weeks to get a response from them, but we already told that they needed 10 persons for the scholarship. It could be 10, it could be 11 persons for the scholarship. So it was already like a very slim chance, and it was just left for us to go and pray and wait for the outcome of the interview. I received a congratulatory email around past 10 p.m. on Sunday night, but I saw it on a Monday morning around past 1 a.m. I couldn't really express my excitement because I didn't want to disturb anybody. We were to respond to the email with our admission letters, but if you're yet to get admission, you should let them know about the stage you were at that particular time. So for total scholarship, you could actually get the scholarship before getting the admission. So I think that's very nice. So for me, I did not get admission yet when I got the scholarship. I told them okay that I've sent in my application and I've gotten a response to come for the interview, and they just wished me good luck for the interview. So my interview process with the school came, and I told them I already have funding in place, and I think for this interview it was kind of easier because I've already experienced another interview. It was not really strange for me again. They actually waited for everyone to get admission before we start the remaining process, like the visa process and any other thing that we needed to do before coming here, accommodation and so on. The norm for persons coming here to France, either self-funded or for fully funded persons, you have to go through Campus France. For the fully funded persons, Campus France is responsible for disbursing your monthly stipend, so we go through them, and also for us they're responsible for booking our accommodation, so they can help you book accommodation if you need help. But for coming here to France, for everyone, you need to go through Campus France. So that was the next stage for us, to register with Campus France, and the amount is 50,000 naira for self-funded students, but if your scholarship is 15,000 naira. So for us, it's actually an easy process because we already had funding on ground. The process was just very straightforward. But I think generally for visa process to European countries, I don't really think it's that strenuous, maybe except for some countries that will ask to legalize some of the documents. But for us, after the interview at the visa office, 2 weeks later, our visas were sent to us in our respective homes. We paid for the courier services and everything, but everything was covered by the sponsors. The other things that we did before coming to France was to get vaccinated and have 1 month of French classes. Total covered all these expenses. Then for our flight ticket, we did not have to book it on our own. They booked it for us and just sent it to us depending on the time that we had to leave Nigeria. After getting our ticket, there was really nothing else left for us to do than to pack our bags and land in France. The whole process in general was actually tedious, sending documents and going for the visa and everything, but it was also fun for me because it was my first time going to Lagos from Akwa Ibom, where I live, and I was being taken care of during that period, and I just experienced Lagos in a different level. So it was actually really fun for me. Then the different rides to the airport and from the airport was also amazing for me. That's what I enjoyed during the whole period. So in general, I loved it and I just enjoyed myself during the whole process. Then landing in France, we didn't have to worry about that. especially for some of us that had to go to another city. We had a driver waiting for us at the airport to take us to the train station. Our tickets were booked already for us, so it was actually awesome. So just when we landed here that we had to find our way to our different accommodation. So guys, that's a summary of everything I did to come to France. But if there's anything I did not say or you have any questions, please don't hesitate to drop it in the comment section. I'm going to do well to answer all your questions. And if you are yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, what are you waiting for? Okay guys, subscribe to my YouTube channel, click the notification button, and remember to give this video a thumbs up so it could reach as many persons as possible. Thank you, see you next time.